This week on Low Earth Orbit, we review Toy Story That Time Forgot. This week on Low Earth Orbit, we're reviewing Toy Story That Time Forgot. It is a 22-minute Christmas special from Pixar that explores the adventures of the usual Toy Story characters as they meet a new group of toys. It is written and directed by Steve Purcell. And that's about it. It's actually came out last year, but we kind of didn't really get on to reviewing it then. So here we are.
Has it really been out for an entire year?
Well, yeah. So the weird thing is that they ran it as you had to watch it on TV last year. So it's only very recently that we could actually get it online, for us in the modern world where we don't have TV channels.
Yeah.
So if you're like us, you can now watch it for this Christmas, and it's very timely.
Just don't tell your family that it came out last Christmas, and you'll look like a genius.
Right.
Yeah. So Scott, what do you think?
So the last one we talked about, Toy Story of Terror, I think it was like a year ago. About a year ago, I think we talked about that one because they staggered. They're staggered like that.
It was also holiday themed.
Halloween themed. Mm-hmm. And I really liked that one. And I think the thing though we all thought was that it felt like it was like this whiplash effect when you got to the end of the show because it kind of felt like you were expecting more of it, but it was only 22 minutes. It was boxed. This felt much more like it was designed for 22 minutes. Like it definitely felt like the whole story kind of fit into that box to me, and it was just it was so great. I mean, it had it was really funny. I think it was much funnier than the Halloween one was, and there were so many different characters that they introduced pretty quickly, and it was interesting. It really focused on Trixie as the main character. Last time it was Jessie, so it's sort of an interesting trick that they do where they take two characters that don't get leading roles in the main movies, and they sort of use that as a way to make the whole story feel different. I thought that worked pretty well. And there was a lot of interesting pop culture kind of references to kids TV shows and stuff like that, and I thought it was great. I highly recommend it.
Speaking about the length of it and the pacing, the thing that threw me off both for the Toy Story of Terror and for this one is
exactly what you're gonna say.
Yeah, is that when you buy the short from Pixar, you get this 50-minute thing, and so I'm watching it. And I was like, oh wow, I totally forgot this. And I was like, wow, this is 50 minutes long. And then so I'm watching it, and then it's over, and whoa, that was the end.
They stick a bunch of extra stuff.
Yeah, all these extras at the end. And the extras are great, but it's
that's why there's iTunes extras, so you don't do that.
Which is confusing because it is it comes with iTunes extras.
It does, I know.
I think the thing is that they probably have it on a bunch of different services. Yeah. So they don't all have the same. It is weird though, because I did the same thing 50 minutes. Am I watching it twice?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess Pixar can afford an intern to just cut the video when it gets to the end of the thing. Just saying.
But what do you think, Justin, overall?
I thought it was funny. It was good. It was cool that it focused on Trixie, which is not a character that we really get to see a whole lot of, and not a whole lot on Rex, even though the whole not that I'm complaining, but it's interesting that it's kind of, I guess maybe Rex. I don't know how much we want to get into the plot and sort of explain things, but I think Rex is maybe just sort of a little bit he just sort of goes with the flow, whereas Trixie sort of has her wants that she wants to.
It feels like Rex could have been a bigger part of this one.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, he's more of a bit character, and that's fine. I mean, that's kind of Rex's lot in the Toy Story franchise, is to sort of be the comic relief, and he totally still does that here. But no, it was good. I think it kind of dragged a little in the middle for me a little bit. I think there were some spots where it was okay, I kind of get it. I feel like we're reiterating some plot points over. I don't know. Maybe I just watched it earlier today, so maybe I'm still haven't processed it enough. But there were definitely some spots where I was okay, let's get a move on. I'm ready to move to the next thing. But overall, I think it was good.
Yeah, I think the pacing could have been improved. Yeah, I had the same experience where it felt a little bit slow in the middle, and then the ending felt really rushed.
Yeah.
Well, maybe just because I expected it to be much longer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I love the thing that they do. All the Toy Story everythings I think do this, but it was particularly well done here, which is that they take things that for us are just sort of trivial little aspects of the toys, and for them it's the iconic reality. It's their mythology, right?
Yeah,
it's
totally.
There's so many little different the tower. The tower was a really funny one.
I love the tower.
And he just presses the one button, and it's the gods speak to him. And it's always just so entertaining, and I don't know.
There's also this wonderful thing about I don't want to get too spoiler, but there's one character who rolls around doesn't really have legs. You
His
know, like
wheels?
he has wheels
Yeah.
underneath him. But then there's
With the chair
there's
thing?
one scene. It's true. I love it so much. Like there's this chair he has to sit in, so he
That
just
is
rolls
amazing.
up.
I laughed out loud at that. That was hilarious.
But his
Yeah.
feet were already there in the chair. Like his feet
And
were
he's
like
so
part of the
resigned
chair.
to it. He's just like, nobody say anything. That was amazing. Yeah.
Oh, one of the great things about Toy Story is that like the toys are alive and they have their perspectives, but they never like change the environment too much. Like they're still toys. Like when like Buzz Lightyear's like little laser goes off, it doesn't look like a laser. It looks
Yeah.
like a crappy little LED because
Right.
it is a crappy little
Right.
LED. And like that happened in here too, where it's like they have like, I don't know, lots of the characters have all kinds of stuff, and they look like hokey little
Yeah,
plastic things because
yeah.
they are hokey
Yeah.
little plastic things. But they don't make it like, oh, it's like, you know, like a dream sequence where like everything like looks real to them. It's like, no, it looks just as fake to them as it does to us. It's just they accept that like as their reality,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah. Well, one fun addition I thought in this particular special was that they not instead of just having like toy characters, which is almost all the previous films and shorts focus on, like actual like action figures or
Yeah.
other, like as part of this one, there are like these like sets, I guess, you know,
Oh, yeah.
and all the tropes for them, or like whole parts of those things, parts of the set swivel around to
Yeah.
create different scenes.
Yeah.
And
For
like
sure.
I don't recall ever seeing those in previous Toy Story.
yeah, definitely not with such a big role.
Yeah.
For sure.
But the same little tropes and details, and you know that for those, you know, get highlighted here as well. I like that.
Yeah, I thought this is a great example of like a whole bunch of great individual moments.
Mhm.
Like any individual moment, if you were just to pause it and play it, like it'd probably be some joke that's pretty funny. Maybe in the middle it was a little bit different, but
Yeah, I think the overall arc didn't really resonate with me as much as I would have liked it to. And it's so hard in 22 minutes to really have a real emotional arc. But it was funny. Yeah, I thought it was much funnier than Toy Story.
the little did you guys think the cat thing was funny? There was some laughed out loud moments.
My favorite character was the cat.
Yeah.
I love that cat. I wish there was more. Every single time that cat did anything, I laughed. But it was like all of 4 times in the whole.
Like playing his
special.
trumpet.
It was the best. It was the best
Trumpet was
part by
pretty
far.
good. That was
love
pretty good.
that. Yeah, like I said, yeah. We can talk about it in the spoiler section.
Yeah. So overall, I think it all sounds like we were really positive.
Yeah,
I think it was great.
everybody should watch it for sure.
Cool.
All right. Well, now we're going to move on to some spoilers in just a minute. If you haven't seen it, please go, and you can find it on iTunes and I'm sure many other online services. So if you have any feedback, you can send that to us. You can find us on Twitter at Lower Show. You can find us on YouTube also at Lower Show.
Yep.
And you can find our website, which we have show notes, and email. You can send us email and all that good stuff, and that's at lowerearthorbit.fm.
And for YouTube, we're almost at 125. So I don't know.
Subscribers?
I don't know if you guys want to do a retro review at 125,
No.
like we typically do on those markers.
Let's set a stretch goal for maybe 50, 150.
150? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll do
let's
retro
look
on
at
150. So subscribe.
Yes, please subscribe. And then we're going to move on to the spoilers. All right.
Okay.
All right, so spoilers. the cat ornament.
The cat was amazing. That was
I
like
was waiting for some reveal where the cat was going to like save the day. I was kind of actually hoping
Yeah.
that would be the case, and it winds up just sort of being like this accessory character. It was still funny, but it's kind of I felt like they're setting this cat up to be like the hero. Not so much.
So I have like a question that I may regret asking later. But I had this weird moment at the very end where what was the reptilian Maximus?
Yes.
Is that the guy's name?
yeah.
And Trixie were laying on the ground. Was that sort of supposed to be like the kids' version of like they had like a relationship?
Which part?
The very end where they woke up and they said that was wonderful. Like, that
Oh.
whole thing.
Oh, that's not how I read it.
Okay.
That's not how I read it either.
All right. Maybe we should edit that out. But I just
Now we
honestly-
know the Rorschach test of
I don't know. I
saying was that a post-coital cigarette they were sharing there at the end? I'm totally embarrassed.
No.
Sorry.
I just don't know where to get it from there. I thought that. Do you think there's any? Really, you don't think that is that possible? Like, do you?
Is it possible? Of course, it's possible.
Okay. Yeah.
It didn't occur to me at the time, but now I can't unsee it.
So whatever the cleric was, like the sitting behind
yeah.
the thing, that was hilarious. But I think it was really interesting that he knew
That
what
they
was
were
going on.
Yeah.
Like he knew it was. And
Which is like the whole thing. So like, sorry, I kind of like totally talked
No,
over
you're
me, but like the side commentary, and I have to go back and think about if the other Toy Story shorts were like this. But the thing that occurred to me is like, there's like the thing that just is happening in the Toy Story universe,
Mhm.
and there's the thing that's happening in the broader world, and it kind of felt like that was supposed to be sort of like a parable or something for the viewer, like kind of like you've got this like really focused small view of your world, and if you kind of zoom out, there's a lot more stuff going on. But if you're really focused on ruling your little section of the world, then you're missing out on all this other stuff. I don't know if it was meant to be that deep, but I thought it was kind of interesting. Like it was like, particularly with the cleric, he was trying to like not let them know what was going on, and he had control.
It's a cool callback to like Buzz's original thing,
and he made a comment on that.
Yeah. Oh well, there was definitely it was cut. There was a scene in like the behind the scenes where they talked about how they were going to do a scene with Buzz and Woody, and Buzz is gonna be like, "All these toys, I don't even realize they're toys. Like, how is this even possible?" And Woody's like, "Really?"
I can't believe they cut that.
I know, it would have been so great. It's like such a clear callback to the first movie.
I feel like they could have. I mean, that whole. Buzz was such a minor character in this whole short, and it felt like given the clear
His
parallels to
history,
to the first film, the entire first film had this plot.
Didn't they do that? Like I thought he already did this with some other toy. Like it felt like they had done that in a previous movie, and if they didn't want to keep doing it over and over
Did they do that
again.
in Short Fry? Wasn't there another one?
That's what it was. Yeah, I think that was. Yeah, or
Small Fry.
Small Fry.
Short Fry. It's an off-brand one.
It's like a short round, maybe, or short stack. Yeah, no, Small Fry. That's right. That's totally it.
But he still made one little brief comment about like that's inconceivable that they wouldn't like
maybe in the actual version.
Yeah. Like when they first encounter them in the arena.
Yeah.
And they're like, they don't get it. He's like, that's inconceivable. Like how would they like he did make a comment about it. That's
I love that the arena was called the Arena of Woe.
Oh, I missed that entirely.
Arena of Woe. Yeah, I love that.
I missed that. Yeah.
I think it was maybe mentioned in one of the like behind the scenes or deleted scene segments afterwards. Yeah.
And the so the kitty, like I just didn't like. It was just such a brilliant character. Like I don't know how.
I'm really not looking forward to Toy Story 4 because I'm sure like I'm just certainty that they're going to ruin all Toy Story films. But if they don't, I really hope that the kitty makes it into the fourth film as like a major character.
There's another deleted scene, I think. I actually just watched all the things like after the whole like 50 minutes or whatever. And there's another one they're gonna have some more about like the Christmas like stuff, like all getting put away like in a box. It was actually kind of like dark. I'm glad they kind of glad they didn't keep it. Yeah, because it's sort of like, all right, guys, well, Christmas will be back soon. Don't worry. Like the lid on the box goes down. They're kind of like, ooh.
Oh my god, the last scene, the thing that you reminded me.
Where the kitty just like disappears.
No. We're reptilian. He was like, he's like, someday I hope to see you again. Tuesday at around 3:30.
I love that.
It's amazing.
It actually also kind of reminded me of and maybe I'm just misremembering the movie, but I feel like the Planet of the Apes was kind of the same way, where like they deliberately didn't want people to leave like the city because if they went too far, they would discover like the truth or like the origins. Because there was like the Forbidden Zone, and that's where like the spoiler Statue of Liberty is and everything, right?
You're spoiling Planet of the Apes.
You never know. Yeah, right. But they kind of did the same thing here, where like the cleric guy didn't want anyone to leave the city, go to the dangerous outer lands because that's where the boxes where they came in, right? And so it's like doesn't want them to discover their true origin.
Oh, sorry. The one thing I did want to say is that two of the extra things that were interesting. They threw away one version of the intro, which was like Trixie was already already knew all about the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Totally would have had a different flavor. Like totally the right call.
Yeah. Also, they kind of did that already. Like wasn't that the whole thing in like Toy Story 2 or so, where they were all big fans of the show that had
Woody was on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a really good point that the director made. He said like, yeah, because she wouldn't get to experience like learning about it with the audience, because that's always so frustrating. Is like, oh, everybody here knows about that, and like I don't. That feels weird. And the other thing was the 2D mocked up intro of the show.
I wish they'd done that in like full fidelity. Great. Oh my gosh, it was like Thundercats and He-Man sort of like all together with like crazy like dinosaurs. Like it would have been awesome. Actually, so. Man, there was this goofy, probably I don't know if it was an 80s or 90s cartoon. It was actually kind of like almost along these lines, but it wasn't that the dinosaurs themselves were like the sentient like things running around, but it was like time travelers maybe. They went back in time and they like used dinosaurs as like weapons. They would like put armor on them and stuff.
I feel like I know what it is, but
man, we'll have to figure out what the show is. We'll have to put it in the show notes because like there's a little it's really
I can picture it.
Super obscure.
I can picture it. It's kind of like Dinotopia in a way, but like a violent version.
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
But they also did the little intro during the actual short. Like they all like chimed in on the theme song.
The theme song,
that was
which is really
great.
cool. I like the air guitar.
Yeah,
it was
great.
awesome.
I like the little the like Q/Edna Mode character that went in like
put all the
pull this
stuff
stuff
on
on.
them.
That
Yeah,
was
that
great
was
too.
great.
Yeah. And one of the favorite parts is when Rex finally gets real arms. That's such a great payoff. All those movies.
All the arm jokes.
Yes.
They aren't these sinister arms. That's right.
All right.
All right.
See you next time.
Bye. And this week on Low Earth Orbit, we review Toy Story That Time Forgot. When do we do that?
That's okay.
That's close enough. We'll fix it in post.
All right, so this week we're reviewing Toy Story That Time Forgot. This is a 22-minute Christmas smash. Start over again.
It's a Christmas smash.
All right. And if you have any feedback, you can send those to us. Any feedback? Is that right? I guess right.
Feedbacks?
If you have feedbacks, if you have a bucket of feedbacks, address them to feedback@lowerearthorbit.fm.
Get your feedbacks. Fresh, hot feedbacks.
No,
You're saying, was that a post-coital cigarette they were sharing there at the end?